Hey everybody, this is G Rider, and I'm going to do a 1-year update review on my Honda CBR 250. If you hear noise around me, I'm sitting outdoors, so the audio won't sound so flat like it would if I'm sitting indoors. So you'll hear, I heard a rooster, and you might hear cars and motorcycles, etc. But I think that makes the audio a little better. I've been riding my Honda since July of 2011. And it's Memorial Weekend 2012, and I've probably crossed the 6,000 mile mark on the motorcycle today. Haven't looked at the speedometer since I shot the video. It's probably short of 6,000 miles. The video you're watching now, I shot earlier today near Woody's Gap in the North Georgia mountains, and since then I've been riding for a while today. And in any event, I wanted to say that the Honda CBR 250 is just an excellent beginner motorcycle. I think it would make a phenomenal commuter, although I don't use it for that purpose. I have ridden it on the expressway extensively, and I've got a video on my channel, HGL 1001, exclusively talking about riding the bike on the expressway, and it does very well. The bike will run, I tend to sort of top out around 78 miles an hour. I tend to just push it short of 80 for whatever reason. I think the bike will go faster, and I've seen people saying they've taken it up to 90 miles an hour. I've never done that. I just didn't want to put that kind of speed on the engine. But at 78 miles an hour, it performs extremely well. No issues there. I think one of the things about the bike, because it's a single-cylinder engine, is you just have to get used to the sound, and I even gave that comment to somebody on my website. I, today, riding in the mountains, have gotten just more used to staying in 5th gear and letting the bike run a little more towards 78 to 8,000 RPMs instead of the old practice I had of staying more in the neighborhood of 7,000 RPMs. Again, the bike doesn't redline until about 10,500 RPMs. So when I'm running in 5th gear at 8,000 RPMs, I'm just going to trust that the design of the engine is intended to take that. One of the things that I was thinking about on the bike today is that I wear earplugs always when I ride, and of course that cuts back on hearing the sound of the engine, and to me it just makes a more comfortable ride that I can concentrate better. So if you don't ride with earplugs, you're probably even hearing an engine sound that maybe sounds even a little more thumpy and revved than what I'm hearing. Let me add a comment on the ABS brakes. I went online to read about them a little bit more for this video, and the way the combined brakes work is if you press the brake pedal lightly, both front and back brakes engage. If you just use the hand brake only, then only the front ABS brakes work. One of the things that I want to comment on, given that I got a question while I was actually making this video about the ABS, is that these brakes don't jump or vibrate or pulse like the ABS brakes used to on cars. There's no rapid fire pulsing that you feel. They do that, of course, but you don't feel it. They're extremely smooth. They don't make braking feel unnatural. In fact, when I took the MSF class and braked it extremely hard with the ABS brakes, they did not even do what the instructor expected. They expected to be able to hear and see the vibration or the pulsing, which is absolutely not the case. So these ABS brakes are excellent. In terms of reliability, it's been excellent. It's a fuel-injected motorcycle, so there's no choke. It's water-cooled. Once it warms up to its normal operating temperature, it stays there no matter what. In cold weather, it doesn't get lower. And hard riding, it doesn't get hotter. It stays on 3 bars out of 5 the entire time. So I would say that I'm extremely glad that I have a water-cooled motorcycle. I'm very glad to have the fuel injection. I think it performs just exceedingly well. And in fact, one thing that somebody mentioned to me is, with a bike like this, as you gain elevation, you're not really losing power. The electronic fuel injection is adjusting everything as riding conditions change. That's not something I've personally researched, but I believe that to be true. As far as riding position and comfort are concerned, this is styled somewhat as a sports bike. I would say a mild sports bike riding position as opposed to a hard sports bike riding position. You're only leaning forward, 15 degrees or so. You're certainly not anywhere close to a lay down position. You're essentially feel like you're sitting up once you get used to it. And the only consequence from that is that, unless you concentrate, you will find yourself, particularly early on, putting too much of your body weight on your hands, and it makes your hands tired. But as you practice using your torso to support yourself and not leaning on your hands all the time, it gets better. It's never perfect. I have a bad habit of probably gripping my throttle hand a little too tight, and probably fall into the habit sometimes of going back to leaning on my hands a little bit. So there's no doubt that from time to time you just want to stop and sort of flex your hands and let the muscles relax if you've been tensing up doing that. As far as the seat's concerned, it's a firm seat. I've ridden the bike 300 miles in a day, which is a lot of riding on this bike, a bike this size, and you definitely feel it. You feel it in your butt, and you feel a little bit in your legs given the seating position. But I haven't changed the seat, and I'm not going to change the seat. There may be an aftermarket seat that's a little more comfortable, but that's not something that really is a big on my list of things regarding the bike. I'm fine with the stock seat. I haven't made any modifications, and I would say that if I made one, I would probably at some point change out the pipe and put an arrow on it. Of the styling on the bike, I love it, but I'm not crazy about the look of the exhaust pipe, and ultimately I'll change that out. But in my mind, that's a little bit more involved than just buying a replacement pipe. It also involves downloading and getting from that pipe manufacturer the revised maps, which are the software that control the fuel system or the EFI, and then I think that sort of leads you to buying a power controller or power commander. You can hear some Harleys going by, whatever that is exactly called. It's just an electronic device that reads the maps and controls the electronic fuel system. And when you change the pipe, you don't have to do that. I've been told. I think the bike would run fine, but I'm kind of a person that I just would like to do it right, and so that kind of takes it from maybe the $500-ish project it would be to not put in the power commander to probably a project a little bit closer to $1,000, including, I don't even know if that would include labor. That my number's not a number where I'm sitting and looking at parts prices right in front of me, but when I did before, I sort of came close to $1,000. So that's just something I'll do later. The sound of the bike is fine. The performance of the bike is fine. I wouldn't change the pipe for performance reasons. I think I would just change it for appearance reasons. So I've had no issues with the bike. It's very well balanced. It's great in the mountains. It weighs 350 pounds. It's an excellent bike to learn to ride mountain roads. It's a great bike to commute in. It does get the 70 miles an hour that it was advertised to get. I've definitely gotten 70 miles to the gallon out of the bike. I like the fact that, on the instrument panel, you've got a fuel indicator, you've got an engine temperature indicator, and then, your normal indicators, turn signals, high beams, and that kind of thing. So a great all-around bike. I don't regret the purchase decision. I would absolutely encourage it for either a new rider that wants a bike to gain experience on, or an experienced rider that wants something particularly light to ride in the mountains and enjoy on mountain riding. Again, on the expressway, it will go expressway speeds. It will still accelerate in the upper gears, but it's not a 600cc bike, and it's not gonna, other bikes will that are exceeding the speed limit a lot will pass you. But where I live, the speed limit is a max of 70 and a low of 55, and unless you want to get a super speeder ticket, which we have in Georgia, if you're going over a certain amount over the speed limit, it'll definitely exceed the speed limit, and which is just something you just have to consider. But it'll go 78 to 80 miles an hour with ease. So great bike, great price, good modern features, and would recommend it to anybody that's sort of leaning towards a bike of this price range and in this engine category. Thanks for watching. Please come to my YouTube channel, HGL 1001. Safe riding, and thanks again for watching.